This podcast is being recorded and produced on Gadigal land.
We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this country and elders past, present.
We extend our respect to any First Nations, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Hey!
Welcome to Price Friends.
Yeah, we don't need to do intros
Can't bother
for this.
doing an intro.
Yeah.
How's your sleeping pattern going? Give me an update there. You're still an
Okay.
insomniac?
It's a lot better, but I still feel like I'm having not as good of sleeps as I used to.
Okay.
Right? So if you miss the episode, I have been having fucked up sleeps, and one night in particular, it was a Sunday night, like 2 Sundays ago, I had no sleep at all. And I spoke about this in our main episode last week. Anyway, I forgot to mention in that episode with you, Matt, another thing that I did on that night that I was having no sleep at all. I'm talking the sun was coming up and I was still awake. I also Googled. I'm not really into this sort of stuff, but I know that it's a thing. I Googled, is something going on with the moon?
Oh, yeah.
Because you know how they say, like, when it's a full moon,
Yeah.
this happens, and half moon and whatever, all the planets. I'm not into that kind of stuff, but I thought I was desperate. I'm like, fuck it, is it a full moon or something? Because why can't I sleep? But I forgot to mention that to you in the pod. Anyway, the day that episode of ours came out, I got a DM from a clairvoyant.
Oh.
Let me find it. I'm sure she won't mind if I read it out because she messages me every now and then about certain things. Okay. Hey, Britt, just listened to your high scrollers and had to message you, re, your insomnia. It sounds like, and because you know how I was talking to you about my period and the cycle and everything and how I thought it had something to do with that. Well, she said, it sounds like your period is in sync with the full moon. And the last full moon we had last Sunday was a rare supermoon, which means that it's much closer to Earth, so felt more intensely. There was also a rare, once-in-a-decade planetary alignment in conjunction with this supermoon, and the effects of it were felt hugely for days last week. I also couldn't sleep last Sunday night, and I had a lot of people and clients I spoke to had the worst insomnia last week that lasted for days, and this is exactly what happened to me. It was on that Sunday night, and all the way through to the Thursday, I couldn't sleep. We've also been having huge solar flares over the last week too, which can cause a whole array of mental and physical symptoms. So, to me, it sounds like your cycle is in sync with the full moon every month, which a lot of women are, and I believe this is why you're not sleeping. Some food for thought.
Wow.
And I'm like, I believe that. Like, I've never really gotten into all that kind of stuff, but I know it's like a thing and that, I mean, I believe it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the moon controls the water on the earth, right? The moon controls water and tides and blah, blah, blah.
Which is fucking wild.
Aren't we 85% water?
Yeah.
So no wonder the moon controls us. I fully believe that as well. I'm all about the planets and the Mercury retrogrades and the things
me
like
too.
that.
Like, I've never really gotten heaps into it or whatever. Like, watch videos here and there on TikTok and whatever.
Yeah.
Googled things when I'm feeling weird. I'm like, is it a full moon right now? You know how they say when there's a full moon, like, weird things happen or like people act weird or whatever. So I'm fully believing in that. And for her to message that and say that was that Sunday night that the moon was doing that fucking crazy shit, I'm like, this all fucking makes sense. So that's my answer. I'm going to run with that.
Yeah, okay. So you're blaming it on the moon. So how do we destroy the moon then? Because clearly it's
we
not working
call up the
for
guy
you.
from Despicable Me. He catches the moon.
I've never watched any of the Minions movies.
I nearly went to call you AJ then.
Oh!
I just went to go, AJ! Matthew, you need to watch Despicable Me. They're most feel-good movies.
In what world? No, I haven't watched any of the Minions movies. I don't
need
get the
to.
Minions hype. And like, you know how people like bag on like Disney adults and stuff? I don't really care about Disney adults. I feel I am one myself. If you love like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, I can get around that. If you love Despicable Me, fuck off.
It's such
If you love a Minion, get over yourself. Get real.
But it's the main guy and the 3 girls. Like, it's more than just the minions in the movie. And it's like feel good, make you laugh, make you get emotional. Like, it's just one of those feel good movies. You need to.
I never will.
Has
I'll tell you
Sky
right
watched
now.
it?
I would say no. I don't think so. What, do you love it? Has AJ watched it?
I don't don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Although I'm loving that song on TikTok. Who will we tonight? That's the answer. Oh, that's a question. I mean, got the lyrics wrong. But
Seriously, and there's good soundtracks in it. Like, it's a fucking feel-good movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch the first one.
yeah,
It's just like chuck it on a Friday night, have some
won't.
popcorn at home.
I won't.
I'm going to watch it again.
Hello, I need blood, guts, murder. Like, I watched Saw V the other day, Saw 5 the other day.
No.
Like, that's. Wait, no, was it 5? What's the most recent one? Or is it 10? How many fucking Saws are there? Anyway, I want that. I want drama. I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, are you on the edge of your seat when you're watching the Minions movies?
At some moments, maybe, if you think something bad's going to happen.
I'm over it. I can't think of anything worse than me and Sky sitting down to watch a fucking Minions movie. Oh my God, I'd be leaving so fast. If he said, babe, let's sit down and watch Minions tonight, just wiggle with me, I'll go, you can get out of my house. No, I'm joking.
Sorry, Sky. Speaking of Sky, I saw that you shared the other day on Instagram that it was yours and Sky's 5-year anniversary.
How crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember when my whole brand was being like desperate and dateless and single and like no one would ever love me?
And you would have little boyfriends every now and then you would tell me about them. And then the next time I saw you, nah.
Yeah.
Hate him now. Like, hate him now. Nah, we're done with him.
Yeah, because I fall hard and fast and then they'd ghost me.
How did you and Sky meet?
At a drag show. So
yeah.
I was coming down to Sydney on a Thursday night. They had this thing called Drag for Dollars at ARC Sydney on a Thursday night. And my friend and I were coming down from the Central Coast each week and going out like multiple times a week. We just discovered drag. We loved it. When I saw Sky across the room looking absolutely so gorgeous and perfect and
was Sky in drag?
No, just sitting watching the drag. And we were over the other side of the room watching the drag as well. And I leant over to my friend and was like, look at that guy over there.
Aww.
And I said, that's my future husband.
Stop.
Because I was like...
And you didn't know each other at all? Like, you didn't have any mutuals or anything?
No, never spoke a word, never saw him before in my life. No mutual friends or anything. Saw him across the room. This is one of my first times going to see drag in Sydney. Saw him, said, that's my future husband. My best friend was like, oh my God, that is so... like your type. He is so everything, blah, blah. But I was really shy and I also had just like gotten out of this like weird thing with a guy. And so I was a little bit like shy and reserved and like not really ready to do any of that. So I, funnily enough, his friend was actually a follower of mine who's Christina, by the way.
Right.
Who I've ended up living with and is one of my close friends now. Like
Small world.
So she came up to me that night and was like, oh my God, hey, can we get a photo and everything like that? Like, I love you. And she's actually friends with Sky. And I'm going, oh my God, this is perfect. And then for probably 3, 4, 5 months, we just kind of connected, like me and my friend connected with her and Sky. And then there was like a larger group as well. And we kind of like just joined the friend group in a way. And then anyway, I was crushing on him for a while.
Was he crushing on you?
No.
Was the feeling mutual at the start?
No.
No.
So but he didn't know that I was crushing on him. And I like said to Christina, I was like, I knew she was going out for dinner with Sky. And I said, when you go out for dinner, can you just like gauge if he's like interested in anyone or if he's like looking to date anyone or anything like that? And Christina came back to me the next day and was like, yeah. So I spoke to Sky and was like, are you looking to date anyone? And Sky was like, nah, not interested. Don't want anyone right now. Not interested in anyone. Can't be bothered with a relationship, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So then like 2 weeks later, we all planned out to go out as a friend group, but then something weird happened and everyone got the wrong memo and no one showed up except me and Sky. And we were both just like, oh, like this is, and no, you're both looking at me like, oh, as if this wasn't set up. No, it genuinely wasn't set up. Like, Christina was pissed, bitch. Like, Christina was angry that like the wrong time had been told to her. And then another friend that was meant to come, like literally couldn't get off work. And then it was just all these things happened and it was just me and Sky. And I was like, well, we're both here, so we may as well just like get a drink and like chat. And then like we spoke for like a few hours and then we met up with the friend group afterwards because everyone was then ready to come out. Okay. But we like kind of like had this like moment where we like discussed our lives and really got to know each other. And then it was his birthday. This is so funny and just so me and just so us, but we obviously didn't know it at the time. So Sky tells me that his birthday, we went out to the Newtown Hotel to, again, watch drag. And I just felt so hot. Like, I was just like, I'm killing it at the moment. Like, I just look so hot. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm putting the charm on tonight and see if it gets anywhere. And if it doesn't get anywhere, then like, cool. I've given it a go.
Yeah.
And I don't care. We can move on. You know what I mean? And so it's his birthday. We're out. And, you know, I'm just like being flirty, but not overly, like just, you know, touching his back and things. And like, he went to the bar to get some food because we were there to have food and watch drag, and like I paid for his food, like literally such the smallest gesture. And Sky literally goes like, when you paid for my chips, I knew there was something there. I'm like, he's like, the moment that like he reckons that like that night is the night he like first felt like butterflies for me.
Cute.
Because I paid for his fucking chips and aioli at the Newtown Hotel. Like, it's just the most unromantic but us thing ever.
But that's the little things. I love the little things like that.
Yeah. And then it was pretty clear. And then it was like, you know, a few more weeks of just like flirting, talking, all the rest of it. And then I've told you before, I don't know if I've said it on this podcast, but I think a lot of people know because I've discussed it before. I always had this vision for my life that like I would propose to my boyfriend in the place that we had our first kiss. Our first kiss was in a toilet cubicle at Stonewall.
Nice.
So that's gone out the window. Won't be doing that. But I had this picture in my brain of like, oh, I can't wait to propose in like the place that we share our first kiss. We both got so drunk on Long Island iced teas. I went to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom, and then we were just like, come in here and let's go for it. So very romantic first kiss in there, and the rest is history.
That's so cute. It feels like just yesterday that you like started dating, and I feel like when you did start dating, that's when you had come off the back of like, you know, some little flings here and there kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like at that point when I found out that you actually had like a boyfriend, I think you were like kind of hesitant about the whole thing as well, because you had just like sort of dated a couple of guys kind of thing. So it's just crazy to think now it's been 5 years.
I know. Before Sky, I don't think I'd had an actual official relationship for longer than like 3 months. Lots of situationships, lots of 3-month relationships. Then we broke up, but then we still slept together for 6 months or whatever, you know, things like that. But we hated each other, but it was just convenient, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But like an actual like relationship, I don't think I dated anyone officially for longer than 3 months.
See, I think when you find yourself in like a good solid relationship, like I feel like both of us are in now, it does make every other fling or relationship just seem like it wasn't even legit.
Yeah.
Like I even look at my relationships before AJ, and yeah, I had boyfriends, but like comparing it to us being together now for 7 years, I look at all those boyfriends that I had for a year here and a year there, and it like they weren't relationships.
Yeah.
Like even though you said it was, and that like, oh yeah, that was my boyfriend, like was it really fucking your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
Especially when I was so young, I'm like, I don't even know. And isn't it funny that like I couldn't even tell you, like there's one boyfriend, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't even know his last name. Like I wouldn't even know his last name.
He definitely wasn't a boyfriend then.
But he was for 2 months.
Yeah.
But like if you asked me what his last name was, I couldn't fucking tell you.
See, I think when you finally get into like a nice, solid relationship that is actually like what a relationship should be like, you just look at everything else that you did and you're like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
And also like, yeah, we were so young.
Yeah.
Like, I just think of 18-year-olds getting into relationships now. I'm like, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, wait till you're above 25. But you do those things to learn.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everything in life is a lesson or a blessing or a lesson.
Yeah.
So learn a lot of lessons before I came to the blessing.
Exactly right.
But yeah, what's your like, I don't know, I don't really know what to like ask you, but I feel like I've just spoken a lot. So I'm trying to throw you a
That's
bone
fine.
here to be like, what do you think the scrollers would like to hear about long-term relationships and maybe something that they don't, what am I trying to say here?
What's the key to a
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the key to a long-term relationship?
Yeah.
Let me give you my 5 top tips for a long-lasting relationship. ASMR. Just kidding.
Oh, I don't want to do ASMR. All you'll hear is my nose whistle.
You know you're in a long-term relationship when you're laying in bed at night and then you say, can you please stop breathing like that? And then AJ's laying there with his mouth shut and his nose is just doing the tiniest little whistle. And I'm like, can you go like that? Because your nose is whistling.
Me and Sky never do that. We've never told each other that we're breathing weird. I tell him to get off me. I'm like, you are on my side of the bed.
You know when someone's got their mouth shut but they're breathing through their nose. But there's like that faint whistle.
Yeah, me. Sometimes you can hear it on this podcast.
No.
Yeah, sometimes you can.
I can't hear it from over here.
That's why I like to have my microphone so far away, because if it's too close, sometimes you can hear my nose whistle.
And then I go, can you please go like this? Like you've got something in your nose. I feel like, honestly, like people always say that relationships are hard, and it's not to say that they aren't going to be hard at times. Like you're going to have your hard times and your challenging times, and like you're going through life together, and like life isn't always perfect and amazing. So when you're in a relationship, you're going to experience some hard times together. But I truly think that when you are in a good, stable relationship, it feels fucking easy.
Yes.
Like, I know people are like, relationships are hard. I'm sure, like, yeah, I'm 7 years into my relationship with AJ. You're 5 years in with Sky. I'm sure we will still yet to be, like, we're going to face some challenges together, and maybe our relationship will be tested in the future. Like, you never know. But I think for the most part, like, a relationship shouldn't be hard to try and make good. Yeah, to work. You know what I mean? And there's other factors that come in through life, like stress from money, and then like I know when people have kids, like that can add so much stress to people's relationships, because then it's just a whole other element to your fucking relationship, and then the kids are the priority and your relationship gets put on the back burner. But for the most part, like doing life with AJ and being in my relationship with him is like a piece of piss.
Yeah. Same.
It's easy. And I think that's how a healthy relationship should feel most of the time.
And also it's so different to any other relationship that I've had, because I just, it's so like cliche, but like when you know vibes, because every other relationship I've had has been like, we've either had problems or I'm like checking the Snapchat location, like where is he, what's he doing, why isn't he replying to me? There's trust issues, we're on and off.
Who's that girl on Instagram that you just followed? Why does this girl keep liking your photos? Like that's not how a relationship should be.
No.
Whereas like when you're in a really solid relationship, you never have those thoughts.
No, like I never have to. I Sky and I have location on, but it's like, it's never like, what's he doing? It's like, is he home from work yet?
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm checking the location, and that's like the biggest
I'm all for having the
difference.
location on, especially for like emergency situations.
Yeah.
Like imagine if something happened to your partner, touch wood, and the location wasn't on, but imagine if it was, and like how many like missed opportunities there could be with that.
Yeah.
I don't have any keys to having a long lasting relationship. I think when you just find your right person, like it just makes it a lot easier for you. And there's all the things like communicate, blah, 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 understand one another, all those things. But I think if you're going to be in a relationship, it's just all about finding that right person where you can just so easily do life together.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that, because I know a lot of people are in shit situations or struggle to find a good partner. So touch wood, I think we're lucky.
And one of the biggest things I think that is, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. One of the biggest things for my relationship is that Sky has his friends and I have my friends. And although they coexist and we do mingle together, I'm not ingrained in his friends' lives. So it's a bit different from that core group that we kind of created when we were all going out.
Yep.
But I mean, he's got work friends and things like that. And in the past, I think with boys that I've dated, I've been like, this is who I'm dating and you must be friends with my best friend and this friend and this friend. And everyone needs to be a big happy family, and you're like now a part of my life fully, and everyone in my life has to be, you know.
Yep.
Whereas he goes and spends time with his friends, I go and spend time with my friends, and sometimes they coexist if we have a little, housewarming or someone has a birthday and his friends come over. Obviously, I'm still like a part of their lives, but I think in the past I've really been ingrained.
Yeah, it's important to have your own things and not get too caught up in one another. I know that can happen a lot, especially in like the early days of relationships, you know, when you're just like infatuated with one another.
You want to be with them every second.
Yeah, but it is really important, especially as the years go on, that you are still independent and can do your own things.
Yeah.
And enjoy doing those things, and then you enjoy like coming back together again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is really important too.
Time apart is so important as much as time together.
Couldn't agree more.
Not us both being in really healthy long-term relationships. It's crazy.
We are a relationship pod now as well.
Yeah.
Like, we're really covering it all. So, Hannah, change the category to relationships on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please.
People are also begging for another photo update because, like, another photo shoot for the cover. I know it's only been a year, but you've got short and brown hair.
Yeah.
My hair's different. I no longer spike it up.
Yeah.
So we might need, and I just feel like our styling, and now that we know what the podcast is, we can
change it up. Well, I reckon, I think let's just fucking leave it until next year.
Okay.
Like, that's going to be... You want to do it now.
Oh, I don't care. No, actually, I've got a real good idea, but I can't say it on this podcast because next year will coincide with something else.
Oh, yeah.
And so
See,
I'm
just like, to me, in my mind, we're at that point of the year now where the year's basically fucking over.
We might as well not worry about anything.
Yeah, like
I've
said, like any new idea at work, I'm like, no, let's fucking do it next year. Because, like, you know, it's this time we're leading up to, like, the crazy busy spring and summer period. Like, boom, it's going to be over. But I agree. We're definitely going to do a new cover art. Mm-hmm. But maybe let's just, like, start fresh in the new year, I reckon. Let's just keep riding out this year with the OG artwork.
Oh, sounds good. All right. Sorry, I'm so tired.
That's about it. See you next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
You bunch of see you next Tuesdays.
Oh, my God. Thanks for listening. I love you, at least. I don't know about her, but I love your support. And thank you. And
He's
have a
lying. He's
fabulous
just trying to get
weekend.
brownie points.
Have a fabulous weekend. Yes. If anyone wants to transfer me money, link in bio. See you next Tuesday.